Welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, everybody. My name's Jeff. We're on 187 acres of a first generation farm, all that kind of jazz. But you know, honestly right now, the only thing I can think of is the fact it's been really hot here in North Texas. There's been a drought. There's been a drought everywhere, guys. But praying for rain. So let's go review this herd. We haven't shown them much. We've been doing other projects. Let's show you kind of how the herd's been progressing over the last few weeks, and especially with the heat and the drought. Is that the second born?
This is the oldest.
This baby right here is born to Erin. She's number 12. She has the one horn. She was the second born. Number 3 had her baby, but it was a stillborn, and so it didn't count before that. It was at the end of April. Anyway, she was born, I think, first weekish of May, and so was the second baby. Anyway, Erin's looking good. She's doing fine. The baby is doing just fine and is getting all big and everything. That's baby number 2, but the first one that survived. Let's check out the other one. All right, here's the second baby that's living, third total. She's with 99. I think her name's what, Carol?
Yes.
Carol. So she's a little lighter in color, a little smaller, but she's still super cute. That's right, girlfriend. We're pretty sure both of these are female. You think that was a boy?
Yeah.
We're pretty certain we're not 100% sure on the baby's genders. So, you know, until you lift up the skirt and check them out, there's not much you can really do about it. And you may ask yourself, okay, what about the other ones? There are none. There is not a single baby. It's now the end of June, none else. So why isn't there any babies? Well, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll notice that last year we had parasite issues around July-ish, maybe more into August and September, kind of pulling them back out. And some of them we had to fight through the winter to try and keep them building some mass. Anyway, you look at these ladies and you can see that they're pregnant, okay? The bellies are swollen. They're definitely kind of low. A number of them are. There was concern that because of the parasite load and everything, you know, let me start it like this. They're going to start working first with all the stuff that they eat, and their energy is to maintain themselves. Then they're going to go ahead and do it, okay, for growth and also for lactation or breeding and everything. And so when they got all that parasite load and all those guys are sucking their energy out of them and they're trying hard to just even gain weight or maintain weight, they weren't doing a very good job. It was all survivability. They weren't interested in breeding. They weren't interested in any of that kind of stuff. So I think what we have is a very late crop. It's a 9-month gestation period. So all these ladies, if you were to say July 1st, they had all their babies. If you go 3 months ahead of time, you're looking October 1st. That means we're probably looking that they didn't breed until October, which normally probably would have happened around, what, July, August, typically. So we're a little late this year. So the question obviously comes is, why do we have 2? Or why do we have the 3? And I don't know if I told you this before or whatever, but these 3 were all born to females that didn't get pregnant the first time. So when we bought them in February 18 months ago, some were pregnant, some weren't. And these 3 moms, number 3, number 99, and number 12, didn't have a baby last year. So while everybody else was carrying a baby and having all that other stuff pulling on them and draining on them and everything else from lactating, there was these 3 that weren't. And there's another one that didn't, and that's number 15. Let's see if we can find her. So number 15 is the other one that wasn't pregnant. Now this is number 3 and number 15 are the 2 that were under 800 pounds when we got them. And there was a question about whether she could even get pregnant. But if you look at her, especially if you knew what she looked like before, I swear she's pregnant. Now the odd part is she's not pregnant as early as number 3 was. So I don't know, you know, she just wasn't ready for it. I don't know. But I don't think she had really the parasite issue that some of the others had, so I don't see that that was the reason. It might have just taken her a while to build up the weight, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But she does look pregnant. And some of these women, you can see that they look pregnant. Like here, number 1.
Oh yeah.
She's pregnant. She's got nice and rounded on the side. So it's hard to tell what a mom looks like when she's pregnant, but if you know what they look like when they weren't, you can start saying, hey, yep, that girl's got some girth. Okay, all right. And there's Kisses staring at us, 149. She's the one that had the right eye problem. Haven't been noticing much of an issue with that at all. She seems to be doing just fine, 100% great. She was 2 last year, and so she didn't have a baby, but she should be having a baby this year. She had good weight. She does look like she's filled out, more round. Just, again, waiting to have kind of a confirmation that she's gonna have a baby. Just have the baby already. Have you ever heard the saying, it takes 2 to tango? Well, some of the issue is the bulls, okay? Ahmed was not the dominant bull. Bartok, in the back over there, he was the dominant bull. More of that angry, Ahmed's more playful. Last year, Bartok got hit hard with all those parasites. I don't think he was really that interested in doing his job. In time, Ahmed took over, and so there might have been some transition with that also happening, where some of the ladies are later pregnant because Ahmed stepped up and started doing everything because Bartok wasn't feeling very good. So Ahmed looks great, he looks fabulous. That may be one reason why Kisses, who always prefers Ahmed, I swear she does, or at least the boys in general, but maybe why she's a little later getting pregnant, was just that the bulls had to kind of work things out. Ahmed's jumped up the ranks when he was sick, Bartok. So anyway, you can tell, Kisses just sits there and hangs out with these dudes all the time.
Go ahead.
Ooh, suck.
Drop that.
All right, now getting out to this drought thing, guys, it's been killing everybody. Here in North Texas, I think, what, Charlotte, you said 1980 and
2011.
and 2011 were the 2 years that had the highest number of 100+ degree days. I think that's probably based off DFW or something. This year is not going to be too far behind, and the driest months are only yet to come. So the weather has been psycho. Last year, we had super drought like September, October. I mean, it was just horrible. Now it's like came really early. We didn't have the May rains. We're behind in rain completely. So you'll notice that all the hay is out here. We have the hay normally up top because we're just sharing the hay spot between the 2 pastures, okay? We brought it out here because this is what the pasture looks like and nothing's growing, okay? I'm sacrificing this pasture to hopefully not let the other one get worse, but I'm also trying to benefit it by having the hay out here. It's able to spread out. Maybe, I think it's like cutlings. You know, if you get cut grasses and you dig them into the ground, some of them will grow if they're a cutling kind of grass. I don't know, you guys know more about that than I do. But besides being a ground cover, keeping moisture in, preventing it all blowing away, we're spreading hay out instead of just all up there. Up there has way ton. So this is our sacrificial pad. It looks like crap, right? The ground is horrible, right? Nothing's growing. We got sand, dirt spots, all sorts of stuff. I know that, okay? I'm not having everything else look the same way. So this is our other acre pasture, pasture 6. It has a green hue on it, but we haven't been on there for a month. It's not growing. So we're gonna stay here and keep burning through this stuff. The hay, we were going through about 2.5 bales a week, I think it was. And just this last week, we started hitting 1 bale a day. And so the uptick on the hay consumption is just going through the roof. So we're just gonna keep going through it. A lot of people this year are gonna need hay, guys. So that's just one of the downsides of droughts. Grass doesn't grow, super dusty. Therefore you can't you have to find some place to sacrifice the land because you just can't destroy your entire pasture system. We're gonna feed hay and keep feeding hay and keep buying more hay. This is the herd. We're waiting for, I couldn't tell you a lady who isn't pregnant. All of them do look pregnant, even 15, which surprises me. But it's just gonna be a late crop. It's just gonna be a late crop. And I'll tell you the one thing that concerns me when it's so late is that we're gonna get beyond a breeding cycle for them to have it next year.
On a normal cycle.
On a normal cycle. So I need them dropping babies by July so that way they can get pregnant hopefully by September and we can start slowly moving this cycle back. We're just gonna have to wait and see. That's all we can do. All right, we're over here at the water trough. You guys remember, we just did this guy. We did all the plumbing underground. Everything was good pressure. Drought situation, main thing you've got to make sure you have is water for your animals. So the water trough seems to be working fine. Our big problem, I don't know if you can hear it, actually, if you follow me, is the generator. Again, I don't know if you can hear it, but we pump out of that generator from a well into that tank my daughter's climbing all over, and it goes and has a one-way valve to the two big 5,000 gallon water tanks sitting up there. That's where all the water troughs come out of, those 10,000 gallons. Well, it's got a one-way valve and it doesn't fill very fast. So one of our problems is, since we don't have electric ran yet, again, we're still working on this electrician trying to get this done, we're hooking up the generator. It's just all of a sudden this well pump isn't pumping out very much, and then it just stops. So it's like it'll go for 20 minutes and it just stops. So we have to keep coming back here and then turning it off for a while, turn it back on, get it running, and then it stops. And we just cannot pump a lot of water out of this. We used to. So I don't know. Ah, darn it. Ahmed probably and some girls just flipped over the hay thing.
I bet you.
All right, we gotta go put that over. I don't want to lose any more hay than we need to, but that's the point about this water. So it's low, a little low right now because the tanks are almost dry. That thing's not been pumping enough, and every day we pump and pump and pump, and we're trying to get enough to do this. So anyway, it's a battle. So this next week, we're calling up the place, have them come out, and why is this thing not running longer? I hope it's not issues with the well. Yeah, who's the guilty culprit now, huh? Ahmed! It's like that cute baby syndrome, when the babies are so cute when they're messing up your kitchen and throwing food everywhere. But when hay's doubling in price, I don't care how cute he is, he's not doing it. At least not while I'm here. I'll probably leave, come back tomorrow, and all 3 rings will be up. In about March this year, I sent a message to my hay guy saying, hey, I need some hay, and when's first cutting and everything else like that. I got first on his list of everything, and I had gotten 134 bales of hay. I think this was in April he delivered it. Anyway, this was his first cut. There was no fertilizer used or anything like that, but it was before all this drought hit in. So we just started going through the 134 bales of hay. Honestly, this was at last year's prices. I am not expecting prices for hay to stay that at all. I'm expecting to hit $100, $120 a bale, more than double, maybe. So I'm glad I have this. You should always, in drought situations, make sure you're stocked up as much as you can. You never want to have too low amount of feed. And I was getting real low and I was getting real antsy about it, and so I just took everything I possibly could just in case, because I knew this year was probably going to be bad, and it's just dry and it's turning bad. So inflation and everything else. Fertilizer costs, I think I've told you before for this, are through the roof, 3-4 times as much as they were. It's astronomically insane, the amount for fertilizer. That means everybody's pastures are gonna have less yield. There's not gonna be as many hay bales. Now that there's a drought, now there's gonna be more demand for hay bales on top of the shortage of fertilizer and hay. Anyway, it's a nightmare scenario. We all live this every day with everything. So 134 bales, if I'm going through a bale a day, I've got about 4 months, which is stupid crazy. So we need some rain. Hey, to give you guys some perspective, this is this gathering pen. We've had the buffalo in here. They've eaten the grass a couple times and so forth, right? This is where we used to have our originally built handling pen that we've been stealing all the fence posts from and everything like that. We built the handling facility from scratch. Anyway, this is the grass. This used to be like Desert Storm, okay? This is where the hay bales were, and despite no rain, it still looks green. You drive down the road, it's all brown everywhere. There's green patches here. This is what we're hopefully wanting to do with Pasture 7, is to have that hay make an effect that it starts building up and is able to sustain some sort of grasses. I don't even know what kind of grasses these things are, but they're green, and that's greener than most anything else we've got around here. So this is the goal, and why we kind of have the hay spreading right now on that pasture to get a bunch of manure and hopefully get some grasses growing from that hay. We're just going to spread it out, and we change our hay locations every time we fill up. So this is for the baby pen. Baby pen, all right, stupid calf pen, whatever. Yearlings, they're on their march. They're coming on over here. This is their pen. We're doing the same approach with the babies, yearlings, and sacrificing this one. This is pen A. This spot, just to point out some things, I know some of you guys have suggested, just go get goats, go rent goats and everything else. Buffalo have a wider palate than cattle, okay? This used to have green, anything green used to be here. You leave them here long enough, I'm telling you, they will eat it down as much as a goat. It may not happen as quick, but they do. There was poison ivy, briar bush kind of stuff, viney thingies, all sorts of stuff. It's gone, okay? So anyway, that's happy to see that. We didn't have to spray it at all, but you can tell it is very dusty, and same approach, guys. So we're gonna be starting to spread all that stuff out from wherever their hay spot was and put it all out here and let them trample it in the ground, hopefully seed or at least get some stuff working. If anything, to stop wind from blowing all of our soil away. So we get a lot of dust storm, it feels like, around here. In fact, that's the dust storm, right? So we need rain, and hopefully we get some this week. We have a 20% chance. We haven't had 20% in a long time, so we're excited about it, whatever, right? But that's the dust that we get, and these guys are just as good as goats, I'm telling you. We have really sandy soil. Some of the benefit, I think, of soil that's like this is that when they go in and they rustle around in that dirt, they get the dirt all over them. It's very amenable to going wherever they might sweat or anything. So it might help with flies, I feel. But it is a pain in the butt to grow grass. So this is like Destin, Florida beaches. Just need some water and to be an ocean. But it's always nice to see them do that. But they have a lot of those little, what are they called? Wallows? A wallow. So I'm not sure what spooked these guys or did whatever they did. They just started running around. We've got air in the system and we're trying to purge it, so. Anyway, one benefit of the drought is, we had bought some fly traps that, you might see a lot of people using. The flies haven't really been that we can see that bad. We haven't even put them out yet. So I guess an advantage is you don't have to worry about fly pressure as much, which is true. The tank wasn't filling up as quickly as it should have, so I believe it was just all that air that was in the system. It hadn't been purged yet. So if I take everything off, it fills up faster, so that's what we're doing now. All the air seems to have come out. A lot of gurgles and bubbling and stuff, but fill this thing up. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is the stuff we deal with the drought, making sure we got water, the effects of everything, why our babies aren't coming, just kind of laying it out there for you. So we prepare as best we can. Everybody across the country is doing this. Some of us are lucky in some ways and not lucky in others. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with. So we appreciate you joining along, guys. We're gonna wait for this water trough to fill up and then we're bugging out of here. Hope you keep with us. Like and subscribe on the videos, please, and we'll catch you next time.
course, it's like they know. And that Mary, she's feisty.
So Mary and Kisses get in on it, and Kisses leaves and goes over and challenges this other one. Kisses is getting to be a feisty girl.